So we are recording this so I can get it out on to Amanda. She'll be able to put it on our YouTube channel. I will put it on the transaction coordinator website, so it's also there, easy to find. Thank you for hiding that because I have no idea. So this class is about listings, using command with DocuSign, how to write your listings up on NJMLS, since that's the main source that we use for this office. And then some other little things about listings that you should be doing when you're receiving offers. So the first and foremost thing that you always want to do is you always start in command with your contacts. Hopefully, as soon as you meet somebody, you come over here to the little person and you enter your contacts. You've all been taught this before by Amanda when you sat with her.
This is not a hopefully, this is a must do.
This is what you should do. This is what you must do. You always start in command. Add your contact, add their name, their email, their phone number. If you want to add any of this lead source tagging, go right ahead. I do not add their personal address at this point because your seller is moving, which means you're going to have to change their address. So I usually wait until after, then you can go back into your command and do any other update that you need to do. But the main three things that you definitely need are their full name, their email, and their phone number. Now, if you are working with an investor, you cannot use the LLC as their name. It must be their personal name. No document can be signed by an LLC. It has to be signed in the founding member's name. You can have the LLC written on the document, but the signature portion or initial portion must be in their name. So always know that. So after you added your seller, your landlord, both contacts, if there's two, you'll just come over here and find them. I'm gonna go find myself because I'm in here twice, apparently. Apparently I'm 53 years old according to command, and I don't know why. I don't know why that's like that. I've changed it and it keeps showing that I'm 53. I am not 53.
Great for 53. She's gonna smack me here.
No, it's fine. I don't know why that, my birthday's in there properly and it still shows that, and I don't know why.
We'll look into that.
So I'm just gonna click on my name. I'm just using me. As you can see, it comes up with my phone number, the email's in here. I have a neighborhood attached, apparently. I didn't know I did that. I did that a very long time ago. But when you want, what you're going to do is go over to the right here where it says timeline, opportunities, smart plans. You're gonna click on opportunities and you're going to go to the right here and you're gonna go create opportunity. From here, I gotta choose the right market center. You won't have to choose the right market center, it automatically comes up. You will choose your opportunity type, listing or landlord. If it's a rental, you must choose landlord. If it's otherwise, it's a regular single family, 2 to 4 family, whatever it is, you choose listing. Your client's name will be there. If you need a co-seller in here and you have them in there, you find them. My sister and I are gonna sell a house. Change your opportunity name right now to the property address. So what are we selling today, Amanda?
Let's do 44 Fergie Ave.
I need a real address from the MLS.
44 Main Street. Let's make it an easy one.
Okay, we're just gonna choose a 44 Main Street. Is that, you don't have to worry about expected close date, list price is the thing to put in here. I'm just making the easy numbers, so I'll just do 500,000. Commission rate. This is the commission you will be receiving for your portion of the listing. It's not the overall commission rate. So if you're doing a 5% listing and you're getting 2.5, that's what you stick in here, the 2.5%. Immediately change the phase to active. The staging at this point, what stage you're in, you can leave it in staging, you can go showing, negotiations, that doesn't matter, but you do want it in the active state. This makes it easier for us to search on the back end when we need to make sure your opportunity is in command, otherwise we can't find it. After you hit create, you'll see that 44 Main Street populated to your right. So you're gonna click on it. It opens a whole new tab for you. And here you can see that general information, all right, market center, opportunity name, everything you just put in over here. To your right is the property. Immediately click on this and, oops, we're not in Canada. Start searching for your property address. This is linked to Google Maps. I hit some random buttons there. So as you type, okay, we'll do Little Falls. That works great. It's linked to Google Maps, so it automatically populates everything to you. You're gonna hit save. So now your property address is in here. So the fact that you're in an active stage and the property address is in there, this is how Jess can find it when she goes to pay you. This is how I will find this for compliance if there's questions, or if Joyce needs to find something, or a broker, everything is in here. This will also populate into DocuSign in the property section for you. So then you're going to choose documents. You will come to the left and choose your checklist type, residential. What this does is it shows you every required document that is needed, and anything that has this DS next to it means these documents will be brought into DocuSign for you. Now, I do not have a listing agreement brought in as I create my listing agreements from NJMLS's website, or let's just say you're doing something that's in Hudson County and you're not putting it on NJ, you're gonna need the Hudson County forms, so that's why I don't have to be pulled in, or if it's Union County, I don't have the garden form being pulled in, you can retrieve those in DocuSign. So once you do this, you will hit start transaction. It'll automatically go to DocuSign. It will not show dot loop. My account was created when we had both. I don't know. Okay, there it is. I already opened my DocuSign, so it worked out well. So now you can see that the commission statement was brought in, your consumer information statements, everything that had the DS is all right here. If I go to details, the address populated, my seller, their phone number, their email, their address is not yet populated in here. Seller two's information is in there. My listing agent information is all in there. A lot of this will populate when you actually update your DocuSign itself. So now that you have this piece done, a lot of your hard work is actually out of the way. I have templates that I created. We can do another template class to show you how to create templates. So I'm going to apply a template to my consumer information statement and make it seller. So now that form is filled out for me. They sit up in this My Doc section. Why is this so big? How do I make it smaller? Nope, that's not what I want to do. I need Amanda to help me because I clearly can't work. Who quit unexpectedly? Hold on. Your internet connection is unstable. Cool.
When we had the team rally in December, the internet connection was unstable. What's happening?
Goodness. Sure.
Hey guys, sorry about
Sorry
that.
about that. Cool. I don't know where I got left off there and where you guys got cut off. But everything was so big and then I couldn't find the rest of it and it was very confusing. Thank you, Amanda. All right, back to this. So as you can see, all your documents are in here. Like I said, on the details page, you have your seller's information minus their address, seller two's information, your listing agent information. What I will say is you will edit this and you will add in your seller's address in here. You don't have to add the address to the seller two spot. It will not pull onto any documents, so there's no point in adding that on there because you don't need to. If you are using the Garden and Hudson forms, you can add your listing date here. It will automatically populate along with the expiration date and your listing amounts. And as for the phone number, for some reason, it doesn't pull from the cell phone line. I think it pulls from the home line onto those phones. So just make sure the phone number is on there. Every listing paperwork is required to have the seller's name and their phone number on it. It must be on there. The MLS at any point in time can call the office, ask for that paperwork, and they have the right to call the sellers or landlords to make sure that, you know, they really sign the paperwork. They really want you to sell the home. Sometimes there's other issues that have gone on behind the scenes where another agent thinks they have the listing and they don't, and stuff needs to be resolved. So the phone number must be on there. Gordon and Hudson also require their address to be on there, so make sure the stuff is always filled out and filled out properly. So nothing coming back and bite you in the butt. All right, now I'm gonna go over to NJMLS. It's very easy to create your listing agreements, listing agreements from NJMLS. You will go to your listing maintenance and you go to this create listing agreement. The reason why I do it from here is most of the stuff will be populated for you. So you will choose your county, it's a Little Falls, right? Yeah. State county. Why is it not letting me? There we go. I'll find Little Falls. I'm gonna go to residential. Or 2-4, it doesn't matter if it's 2-4 family, whatever you're looking for. And I'm gonna go to street name. And then I'm gonna hit next. That's what there's a search button. So it's showing me that this person owns this address that I randomly chose. And I'm gonna hit autofill. This is the main reason I do this from NJMLS. What it does is it puts the county on. It puts the area, which is the town, the zip code, your lot, your block. It already put the street number and street name. It has the owner's name in here. It has the listing broker ID number, your ID number, the office information. This is already populated for you, so you don't have to redo it. With NJMLS, it's very easy to do your listing agreement from here. Everything that's in yellow has to be input. So you'll put your price in, whatever directions you choose to use. I'll go to Google's map and then I'll put the address in and see where the street intersections are. Some people literally just write Google Maps. You'll see it a lot on the MLS. So then you'll choose your listing date. Let's say you had your listing appointment today. You're gonna go live next Wednesday. So you put the 18th and then whatever your term is, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 3 months, you put it out. I usually do 6 months, so I'll count 6 months out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's literally what I do. And I'll choose the 17th. Exceptions, there are no exceptions. Owner's phone number, you do not have to populate the owner's phone number. Here, on this. This is what shows directly on the MLS. So here you can put your cell phone number if you want to receive phone calls. You can put a bunch of 5s, a bunch of 0s, a bunch of 1s. I usually just put all 5s. And that's what I stick in for the owner's phone number. If you are working with another agent in the office, and they're gonna be a co-listing agent with you, I'm gonna search for them. Find them, hit okay. Now their information's populated. Agency disclosure, you are working as a seller's agent. This is going to be the commission. So if you've got a 5% commission and you're giving out 2.5, you would do 2.5 minus whatever you do, 250, 275, 200, that's up to you. A lot of people do 275. You do in New Jersey have to give to a transaction broker. So you can choose to give 1%. You can choose to give 2%. You can leave it at 2.5%. Transaction brokers, you don't really come across them very often. They're strictly someone who might show the property to a potential buyer. They'll write the contract up, but they won't do negotiating. They're not involved after that. So a lot of times people do pay them less because they're doing a little bit less work than what a buyer's agent would do. But if you want, you can leave it at the same for them. Sub agents, it's always 0. You don't give anything to them. Dual commission arrangement. This means when you took your listing, you said you wanted 5%. But if you personally bring a buyer, you'll reduce your commission to 4%. So it gives the buyer, the seller, a little bit of a break on the commission. But you wind up making a whole lot more because now you're instead of making 2.5%, you're making a whole 4. That's a 1.5 more. So it's actually nicer for you. So if you choose to do that, especially with some family friends or someone that you constantly work with a lot, like a fixer flipper or somebody, that's your decision. So it's either yes or no. In this case, we're going to say no. Agreement type, exclusive right to sell. Exclusive agency would be is if you're not putting this on the MLS, you still have to for something that's not going on the MLS. You're allowed to take an off-market listing, but you must have this agreement signed. You must have the exclusive agency marked on this. You must have either the waiver of broker cooperation, which means You as an agent are getting this listing, it's not going on the MLS, and you're not sharing your commission with another brokerage, which means Caldwell, Remax, another KW, we're franchised. That doesn't mean you can't share the commission with somebody in your office, because remember, the broker owns the listing. If you're just doing the non-dissemination form, that means, again, it's not going on the MLS, but you will be splitting the commission with another agent, whether it's this office or some other office. Sometimes clients don't want their homes on the MLS. So you might have like a $50 million home up in Mawa, or, or these really expensive homes, and these people just don't want their home on the MLS. So you get this form filled out with one of those documents, and you fill it out, and you send that to the MLS within 24 hours of signing it. It gets signed by the broker and everybody else. So the MLS is aware of it. You must do this, because if the MLS finds out that you took a listing and you didn't report it to them, even if it's off market, you will get a hefty fine, and nobody wants that. So this case, we're saying we're putting it on the MLS. I'm choosing exclusive right to sell. You'd have to find out if the home was built before 78. Here's a beautiful thing I use. Realist. That just opened. Can I put this in here? Oh man. Open up to a new tab. I didn't want to do that. I'm gonna right click and open up desktop here. You can do that. Realist is right here. It's a great way to search for properties and information on properties. I use it on the buy side. I use it on listing side. So here what I'm gonna do is go 44 Main Street. This is gonna give me information about the property. I'm gonna find Little Falls. That's the one we were playing with today. All right. Apparently, we're gonna pretend this is not a commercial building. But here it would tell you the year it was built. The year built, for some reason, is not given on this particular one. But you would normally see what year it was built. So you know if it's built before 78 or not. So let's just say, for fun, this does look like a new building, to be honest with you, that it was built after 78. Where am I going? Back to NJMLS over here. So in this section, I would click on, no, it was not built prior to 78. No, there is no lead paint. If this is a short sale, that's per transaction, most likely no. Seller's disclosure you can leave for now, because you may not know whether your seller is going to find out, fill it out at the moment. At this point, I'm going to hit partially save and continue. So this way, if you accidentally close the internet, you don't have to redo all of this. The other good thing about Realist is it does tell you your owner's name, their home address. So again, if it's an investment property, this is the address down here that you would be putting into DocuSign over here under the seller's address. Click back over. What's nice about NJMLS is it populates the lot and block for you. But again, if you're using a garden form or a Hudson form, your lot and block is right here. So you can pull the information to put it on your listing form. Because in New Jersey, the lot and block is actually what signifies the property address, not the numbers on the door. Because the numbers on the door could have been one thing one time, and they changed it because new homes were built, this and that, so they revamped things. So it's the lot and block is really what signifies. So when it comes to an offer or doing your listing agreement, that has to be on there. As you scroll down, you can see your taxes, which you have to put onto NJMLS. We're just gonna put this crazy number on there, 2021. This will, we're in 23, right? In the next month or so, this is gonna change, and you're gonna see 20, 21, and 22, and you'll take 22's numbers. But right now it hasn't adjusted yet because we're just into the new year. 184, 491, wrong tab. So right here is taxes. So you would write the taxes. Now this is basic information. How many rooms are in the house? How many bedrooms are in the house? How many full baths, half baths? Is there a master bath? This is going to change per listing. Now, when it comes to number of rooms and basements do not count. Bathrooms do not count. It has to be a livable space. So if the home has 4 bedrooms, a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, a family room, that's all included. So you would add all of those together to get your number of rooms. So living room, dining room, kitchen, family room, 3, 7. 7 rooms, per se, there's 3 bathrooms. We can have 2 full baths and let's just say half bath. We'll say there's no master bath. Style home. Is it a bi-level Cape Cod? Again, all of this is going to vary per transaction. so I'm not gonna really know. We're gonna say colonial for fun. Type of colonial, side hall. Side hall means when you walk into the home, the stairs are to the either side. A center hall colonial, which is the first thing, is when you walk in and the stairs are in the center. Very simple. Georgian are the ones with the massive pillars in the front. I know Ariana likes my hand gestures. Tudors, those are English style homes, lots of them in Teaneck. Victorians have the Princess Towers, as I like to call them. But then there's the manors and there's other different style homes. You can Google them and learn what they're all about in different ones. But for now, even if you don't know what type of home it is, you can just choose other. We're gonna choose a side hall, which is very common in the area when you have the colonials, 3-bed, 1.5 bath, they're generally side hall colonials. Sewer, most of the time is municipal. You will find septic, more in upper Sussex County, and out in the west, you'll find a septic, and quite a few towns up in northern Bergen County. Mawa, Franklin Lakes, a lot of them tend to have septic, so I find out. For now, we're just gonna say this is municipal. Again, it's either well water or municipal. Well water, again, some of those upper county town, Bergen County towns where you have the septic, a lot of them up in up in Sussex County, West Milford, that. And then from here, you're just gonna write in what's on the first floor. And you can abbreviate LR for living room, DR for dining room, kitchen, KIT or EIK for eating kitchen, bed, bath, half bath, whatever you want. Again, fill in the second floor. If in the basement, you can write hangout room, laundry room, utility room. You can write that down there. Easements. I generally write none known, but if the seller does know if there's an easement, you would write whatever the deed is or the survey says. Municipal assessments. We generally don't have municipal assessments over in this area. Those are for like the little developments that are built and they have their own little communities, HOAs and things like that. You might find them more in, as you head down to South Jersey. Is the home for lease? Because sometimes you're putting it up for lease and for sale. So you choose what you need to. Are there solar panels? Yes or no? I'm gonna say yes for fun. Now, this is information you have to get from your owner, whether they're owned, they're leased. And just like the lead paint document, at time of listing, you want to have them sign and fill out the solar panel addendum. So you can put that on the MLS because they have to, people need to know whether it's leased, whether it's owned, how many payments are left, what the payment amount is. It's just like the HOA for a condo townhouse. Get that signed at time of listing. You can put it all on there, those addendums. They're in the NJAR folder in DocuSign. But those should always be signed by the seller first before you put the MLS up. I know it's another document, but it is. If you are doing a broker open, you can go ahead of time and put the information in here. If you know you're doing an open house ahead of time, like we said we we're gonna go live on the 18th and you know on Sunday you're doing an open house, stick it in there so when you go live, it's already in there and everybody knows about it immediately. That's that one. Taken photo, you're gonna choose no. You're gonna want to take your own photos. This is to notify the MLS that you want to go to the home, them to go to the home and take photos for you. You want, just do it yourself. Possession, when can someone take possession of the home from when the contract is given? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Most time you're closing anywhere between 45 to 60 days. So you're gonna either choose 31 to 60 or 61 to 90. Showing instructions, how they get a hold of you to show the property. You'll choose this. When do showings begin? Now, let's just say I'm going live on Wednesday, but I'm not showing this property until, I'm going live on Wednesday, the 18th, but I'm not showing it until Sunday, the 20th. Nobody can come into the open house. Here is the rule. You have 4 days before the house can be shown. So if I'm going live on the 18th, I should say on the 4th day, the house has to be shown. So if I'm going live on the 18th is day 1, the 19th is day 2, the 20th is day 3. So on day 4, I must show the home, which is the 21st. If you're not showing it till Sunday, the 22nd, you need a delayed showing form. Signed at time of listing, again, signed by everybody, the broker. It's in DocuSign under the NJMLS folder. You get it signed by everyone, and that also gets put on the MLS. Although other agents may not see it, the MLS does. It goes into like a special area strictly for that. So, and this will tell you that you will need the form signed also. You put additional showing instructions here, so you might have call listing agent, showing time, but then in here you might write 24 hours notice required, no showings until open house. Owners who have dogs need time to be able to put them away, you know, like things like that. Other agent remarks, any other specifics that you might want them to know about the home that don't get put on the MLS. Anything that you can think of, maybe about solar panels, things like that. Customer remarks here and here. Whatever you put here for customer remarks, please make sure to paste it down here because that's what gets copied into the internet. And this is your description of the property. Please be careful of words being used. A lot of times on Garden, they'll take your listing down for writing the word family room. Do not write it. Your whole description will go away. You can't say family room. It's not allowed anymore because the home may not be used for a family. Can't say mother-daughter, not allowed anymore. So there's all little things, so just know your rules and stuff like that. If you have questions about specific words being used, go right to Joyce and she'll tell you. Then down here is just other information on the phone. Is it a waterfront property association? Like again, that's more like 55 and over communities, or if there's a golf associated with it. You find a lot of associations up in Wayne. There's like little lake towns, little sections of it. Anything about the home, pretty much generally everything in this area, when you go into lifestyle, you're close to park, transportation, school, worship, and shopping. All of that's in there, but you'll just check off all the little boxes in here. Again, we'll just say this was built in the early 2000s, so I would check this. I would have noticed that when I went to Realist. Flood zone. This is the other beautiful thing about Realist. I'm gonna click on it, and I'm gonna go tab to the right. There's a flood map. Very, very easy to read. Look, it says ouch, which means it's not in the flood zone. If it was in a flood zone, it would tell you 500, A zone, B zone, D zone, and then you'd be able to, this is just happens to be a very lucky spot that it's not flooded out by the Passaic River. I was expecting it to be in a flood zone. So with that case, you would go back over and say none. If it's in a 500-year flood zone, you would check 500, and this lender require insurance automatically gets populated for you. So we'll just leave it there. You would choose, you just kind of go and you fill all this. You hit partially saved. The next step is print agreement. It's up here on your right. Possession date. I write to be determined because you don't really know. Compensation. This is your total commission. So let's say you're getting 5%. Again, if you were doing a 4%, if you bought it, I usually do parentheses and then I write 4%. And then it wouldn't let me finish writing. So when I bring it into DocuSign, I put the little box there and continue to write my name because I can clearly only write so much. I'm going to delete that out. Oops, leave that in there. Down here, it's asking how you're operating as an agent. Are you operating as a seller's agent only, a transaction broker, or as a dual disclosed? You want to choose dual disclosed. Dual disclosed means that you, as an agent, are asking the seller to show, sell, rent their home to a client you may have or someone in the office. Doesn't strictly go to you. So you always want to work as a dual disclosed agent or agency, is what the actual form says. So this way someone else in the office can show the property. On top of that, if someone contacts you on Zillow, you need to have that form signed because now you're showing it to them. So the seller needs to give you permission. So you always want to choose here. This box is when the property expires after if it doesn't sell. So let's just say the property has expired and nobody has relisted it. A person who had seen the home while it was still active now wants to come back and buy it. So whether it was somebody you showed the home to or another agent from another agency. If they come back, let's say, well, we're gonna put say 60 days here. If they come back within 48 days and they put an offer in, that means you and that other agent are still privy to a commission. as long as the home has not been relisted by somebody else. Once it becomes relisted by somebody else, tough banana, basically how that works. But again, if it's not relisted and you have a time frame, some people put 180 days, which is 6 months. Some people do 90 days, 3 months. That's really up to you and what you want to do. Your goal is obviously to sell the home anyway in the time frame you got it up. So down here, you will put the owner's names in. I don't know how to spell my name. I really do. I'm pretty tired today. The owner's phone number has to go here. Again, this is the spot where it goes on the listing agreement. And then, oh yeah, I did spell that. Oh, I did not spell my sister's name, right? That was a little wrong. Jeez, I can type today. Then you will hit next. Then you can hit print agreement from here. Now, if you're doing an exclusive, please make sure to check off this to include the worksheet when you hit print agreement. Because when you send the listing agreement, the lead paint, the waiver or non-dissemination form to the MLS in an email, they're gonna ask for the worksheet. Otherwise, right now, you don't need the worksheet. So you're gonna hit print agreement. What print agreement does is it actually downloads it for you to your computer. So it's been downloaded. I know you guys can't see that. So I'm gonna come back to DocuSign. I'm gonna go to documents. I'm going to go to the computer and find downloads. There it is. And I'm uploading it in. There's one thing I didn't do in here in the beginning. I'm gonna go to details and I'm gonna hit edit. The very bottom is a spot for listing broker. So you're gonna wanna stick Joyce's name in there. She is now signing all of our listing agreements, so please make sure this is being sent to Joyce. At the kwpddor@gmail.com. So I'm gonna hit save, shows she's in here now. Great. Now I'm gonna go back to documents and I wanna send it for signature. I'm gonna hit select all and then just uncheck the commission statement because you're not sending that right now for signature. Because you haven't sold anything. Up top, when I hit that, all these little boxes populated. So I'm gonna go to the pen that says create envelope. I don't know why it's a pen, but it is. Then you're gonna go into here and you're gonna look for listing agents. You're gonna go to seller 1 and you're gonna go to seller 2. But if you have 2 sellers and you're not adding the broker just yet, and I'm just gonna hit continue. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna take a couple of seconds and it's gonna populate all the signatures and initial marks on the documents that you edited. The only document that's not going to do this is the listing agreement because it was a document we manually brought into DocuSign. As this page goes. Sometimes it's a little slow, but okay, that's nice. Okay, thank you. Couple of random alerts. So the signing order is set right now to go to me first. I know my name is in here twice. To me, but as the agent, I want to be number 2. You want to make your sellers both number 1. Okay. I'm actually going to do something here. My sister's crazy if I send her something. To one of my personal emails. Now I need to still add the broker. So I'm going to hit add recipient. Here. 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I'm going to click on the little person. I'm going to click on room contacts. And I'm going to find Joyce. And I'm going to hit apply selected. So now she's in here and she'll be receiving it third. So your sellers get it, then once your sellers sign it, then you sign it, and then an email will be generated to Joyce, and then she will sign it. I'm gonna hit next. This is a good spot where you obviously have to add remaining signatures, but for you to review everything. So as you can see, your seller has the ability to mark things off here, whether they want moving company information, home inspector, staging, any of that. It's going in there for them to sign. The property address populated. Your signature is here. This is the lead paint form. Again, the initial everywhere. And they'll choose whether they have information or not about lead paint. Please know with the new lead paint laws coming into effect, a lot of this might start to change and sellers or landlords may have knowledge now of lead paint on the property. So just be aware of that. Again, all the initials and signatures are there. That's the bottom half. The dual agency form, again, everything populated because you had put it in the detail section. You do not need 3 different date stamps on here. You can highlight this and just hit delete on your keyboard or hit the delete over to the right here if you want. I'm gonna hit delete on my keyboard because we don't need 3 different date stamps. Wire fraud. You do have to send this document whether you realize it or not. This is just letting them know how not to be a victim. That's it. That's all it is. How not to be a victim of wire fraud. This is the seller's disclosure. If you've talked to your sellers ahead of time and they do not want to fill this out, I want you to come over to the left here, grab a text box, make it a little bit bigger. You're gonna go over to the right and you're gonna write intentionally. Did I spell that wrong? No, I did not. Left blank. You're gonna uncheck the required, so it's nobody's forced to sign it. Actually, I made the spots a little too big. I'm gonna shrink it back now. And then I'm gonna go over to my sellers. I have no idea which one is really me and which one is the seller. And you're gonna put their initials next to it also, so they're aware of it. So if you've talked to them about it ahead of time and I said, we're not doing this, you'll do that. And then as you go down, no, I went too fast. You know, they'll sign where they need to sign, you sign where you need to sign. The consumer information statement, the document that lets them know how you operate as an agent, whether it's seller's agent, a buyer's agent, a dual disclosed, a transaction broker. This is basically the God of all documents, and you are to present it to every buyer and every seller that you are working with immediately. This is a very, very important required state document. Now, as a seller, the form gets filled out with the brokerage name up top here, your sellers and or landlord's signature and date. You always, whether you're on the listing side or the buy side, your name will always be populated here. The office name will always be populated here. If you're working with a buyer, the office name goes here. Then you will choose seller's agent and dual disclose because that's the way you want to operate. Now, this was a form I created a template for, so anytime I'm working with a seller or a landlord, I can right click, choose the seller, and it automatically is tagged to have the office name in the right spots, my name in the right spot, along with the seller's agent checked off. If it's for buyer, the KW would be written here, and I have buyer dual disclose checked off already, and my name and stuff is, the rest of it's populated. That's the good thing about some of the templates, it just saves you just that much time. And I say right click, I don't know how to right click on a MacBook, I only know how to right click on a PC. I don't know. There was apparently a very different way to do that. So now here's your listing agreement. Beautiful, clean, written out for you that you downloaded. All the information that if you would have had first or second floor information typed in there, it shows everything that was on that form that you filled out in yellow is now going to be here. Perfectly filled out for you, not missing anything. So the only thing you have to do now is manually add signatures. So this is me as the agent. I will drop my signature there. I'm going to choose Joyce and drop her signature on the broker line. Then I will go back to my seller's signature, add one date mark, seller, signature. That's this form, page 1. And then we have the Attorney General memo, which discloses all the information about ethics, discrimination, all of that. This form never used to be signed until about a year ago. Now it must be signed by your sellers, your landlords, and you. So again, make sure you just drop and drag the signature to the proper lines. That's the other one. There's a date already on here because it was imprinted from the MLS for the listing date. This is the commission agreement form. And it has the address populated by the MLS, what you're giving out on the other side. So once again, you just got to come over and do this. like I said, you can bring this form in if you wanted to into DocuSign from DocuSign, and then you'd have to type all that information in. And then you're gonna go over to NJMLS and you're gonna do it all over again. I find that wasteful, very, very wasteful, because you can take 15 minutes filling out the form and then take another 15, it's 15 minutes of you're never getting your life back. That you could just be, you know, scrolling IG on your phone or something. Signature for you, signature for Joyce. Here's the other thing. NJ, Gordon, Monmouth, CJ, the broker must sign your listing before it goes live. You just can't sign it, your seller just can't sign it and go live. Hudson's the only one that does not require a broker signature, but again, your signature must be on there. So please make sure your broker signs this before you go live, because if you don't, Joyce is gonna hunt you down. Then once you have all this on here, you're gonna hit send. And then I'm gonna go to my phone to thousands of different emails and text messages. It's very slow at the moment. All right, so now it's saying, it's showing that it's out for signature. I can't sign it as the agent until my sellers sign it. So now I'm gonna go into my emails really fast because I sent it to all different emails. Review documents. Also, when your clients are signing this, if they're on their phone signing and they might tell you, hey, this looks like it's in the wrong spot, it's because they're looking at it in a mobile view. So it looks like the signature spot was like over something that it's really not. Tell them to just ignore it. That it's actually quite common that that happens. Fine. Yeah, that's great. No knowledge, no reports. Reason why I'm doing this is so you can see what everything looks like once it's signed. Kind of just shoots them right through it. Finish. That's one. Joyce is gonna get this too. Just bear with me. Should have made your email one of them. I've done that with Mara. I'll send it to her. Like, you are now signing documents to make this go a little faster. And you will get email notifications also from your sellers when they viewed a document. No, I don't want to log in. Thank you. Oh, that's the wrong email. I'm gonna go to this email. Now, just because they viewed it doesn't necessarily mean they have signed it. I get like one too many emails and I keep going the wrong one. There we go, that's this one. I'm gonna go get my Yahoo email. That account, created that Yahoo account when I first got out of college because Yahoo was like the big thing to have. And if you didn't have Yahoo on your resume, like you didn't get looked at.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, kind of really looks like my sister's handwriting. See, it doesn't take long for them to sign it. It's just that I'm going into 2 different emails or 3 different emails. Now I'll know when I clear out of here. Eventually, it's going to show me. See, it's going to show me that both of my sellers signed with little green check marks. Anybody ever questions whether or not they receive it, there's a view envelope history. So you can see when they viewed it, when they signed it. So if they tell you they didn't get it and you go in here and you see they viewed it, you know they lied to you. I'm going to go and sign it as the agent. I'm going to text Joyce. PW. Go find Joyce's. Oh, she's not in that. I have folders in my text messages and I didn't add Joyce. sending you a download listing. Okay, so Joyce noticed. Now I'm gonna go in as the agent since everybody signed it. I know everything's okay and nothing needs to be fixed. I can go in and sign it as the agent. Great, I can see my sellers clearly signed it. And that really is my scribbles. My fabulous handwriting. So then Joyce is gonna get this and sign, and then I'll show you how it goes back into DocuSign. As soon as your listing paperwork is signed, doesn't matter if you're going live tomorrow, you're going live next week, you're going live in 2 weeks. As soon as this paperwork is signed, get it back into Command. So this piece is out of your way. And also helps us to just double check and make sure that everything was done properly. So this way, at closing, that's one piece that's done, and you know there's no issues in waiting on your check from Jess to get paid. So once Joyce signs this, I then would get an email notification from DocuSign letting me know all my documents have been signed, and I think there's a PDF of each on the bottom also. Your sellers will also get this email. So they actually have, because you're supposed to present them with a copy of all the documents, what they signed. So that's what's great about DocuSign. Once they sign it, everybody gets executed copies. So there's no questions. Will they lose it or delete the email? Probably. But at least you have a way to always like resend everything to them. Joyce has signed this. She'll go in and sign it. She signed it. She hasn't signed it just yet. She's aware it's coming through. She just got it. See, look, it shows that it's completed. Now, when I go back into documents, it's got to take a second. Sometimes it takes a second. Reload the page. Come on. A little slow at the moment. I hate when it does this. Shows me everything signed. I'm gonna open it. Close it. Documents. There we go. So now that everything is signed, whether it's the buy side or listing, doesn't matter. In DocuSign, the green check marks become then the signed documents. Where's the consumer information statement not showing green? Oh, there it is, it's below it. So everything that's signed is signed in green, so, you know, and the original documents stay. So let's just say you've had to pull the listing down and the year change, like this was signed, it expired in November, and now you're relisting it this year. You can use the same opportunity and your stuff is still there, and then there's a way to adjust it in DocuSign. And what you can do at that point too is create a folder and call this signed listing Jan 2023. I have it always keeping the caps lock on when I do the second letter. So when I have my signed listing, I can come over to all the ones that are green. Find them all. Click. Click. Oh, that's in click. Click this one. Jeez.
Recording.
Okay. Okay. Then these boxes up here came up, and I'm going to go to move. Selected a destination, a folder in a room. In current room, I should say. I'll sign that, and it just moved all my documents that are signed above for me. And it kept the originals, except for this one, because I clearly did not move it. Folder in current room. Okay, and now all the originals are, yeah, all the originals are down here, and your executed are up here. What I'm going to do at this point is go back to command. Let's see if it'll refresh everything this way. I'm going to click on documents. And we're going to bring the documents in and submit to the MC. This wants to load. Sometimes it takes a minute. Okay, so here it's showing that I'm taking the forms from DocuSign. I created a folder for these, so I'm choosing the sign listing January 2023. Then for listing agreement, I'm going to come in here and I see residential signed. I click on it. Lead paint or no lead paint. If this was a property that had no lead paint because it was built after a certain time, you would pull the no lead paint document in and get that signed. So I'm going to look for the lead paint doc. I'm going to search for it, click on it. Consumer information statement, search on, click. And it does start to eliminate the documents as you go in. So permission to advertise happens to be right there. Wire fraud, dual agency, seller's disclosure. Now all my documents are linked in here, and all I have to do is hit submit to MC. And then I'll kick this back to myself or just approve it. So now this piece is done. Now, here's the thing. Let's just say you happen to get a buyer on your listing. You will create, again, a whole new opportunity. You'll follow the same steps in command. You know, make sure you choose residential when you start the opportunity. I'll bring all the documents in. But the fun thing about getting a buyer for your own listing is, like, if there is a lead paint form that has to be signed, all you have to do is go to your lead paint that's signed, check it. And you're gonna click on copy. Ooh, it's this bad, echo. You would choose active rooms, find that transaction room for the buyer, and you click on it, and it'll actually bring a copy of the lead paint that's signed in for you, so you don't have to go back to your MLS. Or if it's one that has a solar panel or the condo addendum, because those are already signed and they're already in there. So that's a nice thing for you to do to make life a little easier. When it comes to accepting offers, you get a listing, you get an offer on the contract. You're supposed to present it to your sellers in 24 hours. You do present it to your sellers in 24 hours, but what you need to do is make sure that if the property had lead paint, the lead paint form that was on the MLS is signed and sent to you. Make sure the lead paint form is filled out properly. I'm gonna open this one. Now, always by the sellers, you need the initials in A, B, and C, and they must check off a section in A and a section in B on whether or not they have knowledge. Then they also sign it and date it, you sign and date it. Now, when receiving it from the buyers, they must have these two initials, each buyer, A and B. C must be initialed. C is them getting the opportunity to test for lead paint. They're either gonna waive it or they're gonna have a 10-day period. Personally, when I write a buyer offer for somebody, I choose the 10-day period because it's in the contract anyway. You give them the opportunity. Don't check off no that they're gonna waive it. Whether or not they perform it, that's up to them. But those A, B, C must be initialed by both buyers. If there's two, this box must be checked off. It must be signed and dated, and it must have the seller and the buyer's or the buyer's agent signature. Now, the other thing is I'm going to open up a contract. If you do not receive this, I mean, go ahead, present your offer, but if this isn't in there and it's being accepted, you're going to go back before your sellers sign this and make sure the buyers sign that and get that document. One will be mortgage people need it. It is a federal, it's not a state document, this is a federal document. This is across the country. So it's nothing to do with, personally, us wanting it. No. And I'm just gonna pull in a contract really fast. Really sad that I know the number on that, or my template. And me and my toddler drinking. Okay, so I'm gonna go down to where I pulled the contract in here. Again, you present it, but if there's things wrong with it, send it back to the buying agent and tell them to fix. Because what's happening a lot is everybody's sending in their compliance the day their property is closing and your lead paint form is not signed right from the buyers. Your contract's not filled out right by the buyer's agents. And I'm kicking it back to you, and you're not going to get paid by Jess until these things are fixed. Because if the state comes in and pulls these documents, a lawsuit happens and they're not filled out properly, you, the office, the broker, get in trouble. I, as an agent, personally won't be in trouble, but if our broker gets in trouble and Joyce loses her broker license for this office, nobody can operate. So these are things that you all need to make sure. So make sure this is checked off up here, how they're operating as an agent, make sure their name is here. So this is also good for you when you're writing buyer's offers. The buyer on page 2. Your seller, your buyer's names and home addresses must be filled in. There is a spot for it for a reason. They're not meant to be left blank. Lot and block needs to be input. Obviously, the numbers are going to be here because everybody wants to know those. Sometimes this stuff will change, but page 1, page 2, everything on page 2 needs to be filled in properly. The qualifier is for condos, and not every condo has a qualifier number. So don't worry about that. But the lot, block, again, property address, buyer's address, which the buyer's address could be very different from the property address, especially if it's an investment property and they're selling their investment property. Again, your buyers, you know, all of this stuff. And here, if it's a buyer, that's an LLC, that's fine. It can have the LLC name here, but if you see a signature is signed by, and you'll see like LLC is the signature, kick that back and make sure it's signed by the founding member. A mortgage company won't allow it, neither will the lender, the lawyer. So this stuff is changing per. Make sure as I scroll down that if there's tendencies, just check off yes or no. If there's lead paint, check off yes or no. That's another key point. I'm not showing you how to write a full contract. That's another day and time, maybe next month-ish. As I scroll down here, make sure your office name, or I should say, here in A is the other office's name, the other office's agent name, your office name, how everybody's operating as agents. Make sure that the office information and the real estate license ID number, this is the real estate license ID number. If you get a contract and you see a number in there starting 29356, whatever, and a 6-digit number starting with a 3, and your listing was on Garden, that means the agent pulled the Garden ID numbers, not the real estate ID numbers. And if you're on Garden and they open up, they click on the little link for your name, and on the bottom it says click here for real estate license search, and it generates to the page where your information is. So this is always the real estate license ID number for them, for you, for everybody. Make sure the commission is on here and it is proper, that something wasn't changed. Make sure these, and you know, if somebody had held a real estate license that was involved, you know, if it's a seller, buyer, agent on the property. Down here, again, if they have something checked, make sure that document is in there. But just double check your contracts when you receive them. If something is not filled out right, like there's plenty of times I get this where the buyer's agent put the buyer's names, the seller's names, and the property address. They don't have the lot and block. They don't have their addresses on there. They need to be on there. So just make sure your forms are filled out properly. Again, present it. If it's accepted, when you send right back to the other agent, you can say your offer was accepted, but I need this fixed. I need the lead paint document if it's not given to you. If there was the seller's disclosure, anything you had on there and they didn't give you those additional documents, say, please fix all this, make sure all of this is signed and bring it back to me, and then I will send for signature and provide me with the buyer's attorney information. So this way, once you have everything signed and executed fully, you can start the attorney review process. Makes things easier for the attorneys. So just try to always make sure things are proper. It sets you up to be a better agent, one, writing your own offers, and then as receiving it, because otherwise what's gonna happen is, and again, also the other biggest thing is make sure that everything was initialed and signed, all the spots. There's plenty of times too where I catch where like an initial is missed. It's not a fully executed contract without all that stuff. But, and then again, once you start getting executed documents, throw them all in here. They will sync back over to command when you go to find them. You can create a separate folder for the executed offer. You can put all your offers that you're receiving there. Just you say received offers and you have them all labeled, and then you make one that's the accepted offer folder if you want. And then you would go to under contracts and you would start adding them all in. You don't necessarily have to submit this right away, but as long as you start attaching your documents in here, then like 2 weeks before you know you're gonna close, you can come in, you hit submit because the stuff is in here. Commission offers itself, you can start to enter your offer. You don't have to fully submit it, but if you're accepting the offer, come in here and get most of the information in. So this way, again, if it's in there, all you have to do then when you're submitting your compliance, you can come in, submit that, get out of the way. You really should submit your offer though the month before it closes, so the office knows what's coming in. It helps us budget more. But that's what I got. Anybody have other questions about listings? No. When I figure out how to work Zoom, that would be fabulous. Did it log out? I didn't realize it. You've got to be kidding me. My whole Zoom class.
No.
And nobody said anything in the WhatsApp chat. welcome.
It was great.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you touched on a lot of things that, don't realize that.
People don't realize, yeah. Thank you. I'm just a little annoyed that I.
I have one question.
Oh, you are here.
Yes.
Where is the Zoom then? No, I don't want to do that.
How you connect from documents to New Jersey Realtor?
In NJMLS?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the great thing. I'm gonna close this tab. Go back to your, so even if you have, like I say, you signed your listing agreements today, you're not going live till next week. Fabulous. Go over to listing maintenance and you can go to add modify listing. From here, you scroll down, you'll see your listings that are in progress. Click on one. And then down here, you can add documents. So you can add your lead paint, your solar panel. You can add a lot of your documents before you even go live, which is great. I'm gonna hit return to listing load. So again, you know you're going live on Wednesday. Monday, you got your pictures taken. Tuesday, you received your pictures. You can come back right in here. You can add your photos right in. So Wednesday morning, when you wake up, all you have to do is push play. That's what I like to call it. And you can get your pictures in here. When you go to, no, I don't want to do anything. I'm going to hit finish because I didn't do anything. No, I'm finished. When I go to add documents and I click on add via computer, because you're going to download them to your computer, you'll choose the file from your desktop, whatever you want. I'm just going to choose this for fun time. And then it says add description. So you would choose lead paint if you have floor plans, elevation plans, a delayed showing form. COVID waiver is not required anymore. No showings form is if you've accepted an offer and your sellers want no more showings, then you would go into DocuSign, get that signed by them and add that. Seller's disclosure lead paint. As you can see, solar panels not in here or addendum, the HOA addendum is not listed in here. So you can come over here and you can write solar panel and then choose the file and hit upload or HOA, whatever it is that you want to add. Did that explain it for you?
Now my question was, we are in the documents, right? KW documents?
What KW documents are you looking for?
No. We were here, right? When you were teaching us. First we went here, right? Then you added to the NJMLS.
Yes.
So we had to sign separately and in NJMLS, right?
Sign separately in NJMLS?
Yeah.
No, you sign everything in DocuSign.
So how you add, how you went from the document sign to NJMLS? Is both connected?
To NJMLS? Nothing goes to NJMLS. When you go to put your listing up, then you add the documents that need to go there like this.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, your listing paperwork does not have to be submitted to NJMLS. You only have to put your lead paint up there. Like I said, if you have the solar panel, the HOA addendum, any other preferred documents, but your listing agreement does not get submitted to NJMLS.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I really want to know where the whole Zoom thing is. Oh, there's the screen. This was weird. It was still up here. the whole
Thank you,
time.
Janine.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Anybody else with any other questions that's on here?
Thank you, Jen. When we do,
I have a
let
quick
me ask
question.
you a question.
Okay, what's the question?
Yes, what about if we have like a client that is old school, they don't use emails, and then how do we
My
sign the
suggestion
document?
to you is go into DocuSign, go into NJMLS, prep your listing agreement with as much information as you can. You know, obviously you're not gonna have your listing date, you're not gonna have all of that. Download it, bring it to DocuSign. Bring all your documents in, send them to yourself in an email, and then print them. So this way, when you go to your listing appointment, you have everything you need, and you can, when you print it, you can highlight all the spots that your sellers need to initial, sign. You can sign it right then and there, and then when you get back, scan them, upload it back in and send it to Joyce for signature.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I do. It's like a lot of people want their listing work paperwork prepped. We'll put especially if the listing's been on the MLS before and you can see a lot of stuff is the same. And all you're doing at that point, like I said, is filling in your listing dates and your sale price and your commission. So there's very little left for you to do.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? No? All right, well, thank you for all for attending my class. And I will see you hopefully in the office soon. Bye.